So now, um, so on Safa 25, again we have the Safa, right? And so in Safa 25, now we're in Pisces, right? No, 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 we're not. Yeah, we're in Pisces. So in Safa 25, 1396, and this is 1396, prior to 1397, which was prior to the transition of the iconic legendary Elvis Presley, right? So this was right before his transition, and it was February 26, 1976. The sword. Now we find out who's the sword of Islam, right? The word, the deliverer of the sword, right? To the house of Israel, right? In the West. Because remember, in Bible prophecy, it says, well, in Islam prophecy, it says the sun will rise in the west. That is, the word will rise in the woman, right? So the sword will be delivered to the woman as it generally is, right? Right, right. Because the moon sits atop the sun. Excuse me, the moon sits atop the sword, right? Not the moon sits atop the sword. The the moon sits atop time, right? Only the moon sits atop time. Thus, only the moon sits atop the sword, right? Only the woman sits atop the sword, right? Right. Okay. Now, so on Safa 25, 1396, February 26, 1976, the sword, the word, right, of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, doctor, represented by a doctor, the great doctor, Ahmed Hussein Ahmed Abdul, okay, arrived in the West. And where did he arrive from as spoken? He arrived from Alkebuland, the Afro, no, yeah, Alkebuland, right? Al-Kabaland, right? Al-Ka and Baland. Al-Ra and Al, right? A-L, right? Ra and Al, E-L rather, E-L, Ra, Al-Kabaland, right? Um, no, Al-Kabaland representing, right, the physical body and the spiritual body, right? Kaaba and Al, the land of Adam, right? The Isis, the sun, right? The soul, and the L, the body, right? Okay, the mother. What would call that? The cradle of civilization, right? Okay, so now, and that was where Al-Kabaland, the Afro-Kemetic Al-Kibu land, right? And where was specifically Cairo, Egypt, as spoken, the father of the harmonic conversion, the body embodiment of that, he who reflects the embodiment of the harmonic conversion, he who reflects who is the father of the embodiment of the harbinger, right? That awakened the Christ consciousness, right? Okay, grandson of the celestial grandfather, right? Okay. Um, Now, who represent, okay, and brother of the one who represents the new age of Aquarius, right? Right, 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 right. Okay. Okay, so all of this is connected, right? Okay, so now in okay, so he arrived from Cairo, Egypt, and where he is the son of the son of the one who represents the sword, right? Is in represents is represented he represents, right, the harmonic convergence of 1987, which represents the father who is the father of the harbinger, right? Okay, the awakener, right, of the Christ consciousness in the house of Israel, right, on the cardinal plane, as represented by the cardinal plane, right, the celestial house of Ariel, Aries, Aries, right? Or Ariel, the angel, or the angel Ariel, right? Now, so, and where is he, as we said? In Ohio, the protected state, the blessed, the beautiful state of Ohio, right? We all better be trying to stand in Ohio, right? We all better be trying to stand in Ohio, the blessed state of Ohio, right? Now, so because that's where the eclipse is going to uh, pass over, right? It's going to pass over and it conjunct in uh, Cairo, Little Egypt, Illinois, right? Right, okay. And who's in Ohio? The remains of the celestial maternal grandfather, and who went to go visit the site of the burial site of the remain where the remains of the celestial grandfather are buried, but his grandson, right, Mohammed Rabbin Hakim, went to Ohio, right, and was entrapped in Ohio, right, okay, was napped and taken to Ohio, right. So Muhammad is in Ohio, right? Uh, and Ohio will be protected, inshallah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Muhammad is in Ohio, right? The celestial remains of the celestial grandfather is in Ohio, and Ohio is a blessed state for historically known for supporting the Hebrew Israelites, right? So it's no wonder that the celestial maternal grandfather's remains, physical remains, are in Ohio. Okay, it's a blessed thing for Ohio because Ohio was a blessing to the DMT, melanin richly black biblical Hebrew Israelites who were enslaved, right, and considered Ohio to be a land of freedom because Ohio was the home of the Underground Railroad. They were staunch abolitionists. Jim Brown, who was a staunch abolitionist, gave his life and the life of his sons to free Hebrew Israelites, black Hebrew Israelites. Okay? If you ever remember the story of Harper's Ferry, right, where John Brown, Jim Brown or John Brown, I think, uh, and his sons took over a military arsenal to fight against. I don't recommend that though, but I'm just saying how staunch they were for fighting for the freedom of humanity, basically, their humanity. To protect the sanctuary of the sanctity of life, how much they valued the sanctity of life. They were one of those, as I said, staunch abolitionist states, and they very heroically known for their large contribution to the Civil War, to the maintaining the union of the republic, and so they were one of the states that contributed the greatest number of soldiers to the Civil War, right, to maintain the unity between the states and to aid in the liberation of to abolish slavery, the enslavement of DMT richly melanated black biblical Hebrew Israelites, right? Okay, so now, as I said, so um, so now, Dr. Ahmed Abdu arrived in the West from the Alkibu land, that is Africa, the Kemetic Africa, Alkibu land, which is known as Africa, right? The Afro-Kemetic land of Egypt, known as Masri today, right? Cairo, Egypt, right? He arrived from Cairo, Egypt, and as I said, that eclipse is to go to conjunct in with the is to conjunct with the last eclipse, American eclipse, is to conjunct with that eclipse of 2017. The 2024 eclipse is to conjunct with the 2017 eclipse that started from Jerusalem, and the point of I can't remember what they call it, but I will call it the greatest point of totality was in Little Egypt. Now, I could be wrong, but there is a point where it was that Little Egypt, Cairo, Little Egypt represents a very, very pivotal point in the eclipse, right? And it will conjunct the 2024 eclipse that will schedule Ramadan 29, right? Is to conjunct with that eclipse that happened in 2017, is to conjunct with over little with that eclipse that happened in 2017 is conjunct with that one in Cairo, Little Egypt, right, in Illinois, right, in Carbondale, Illinois, right, and the father of the eclipse, the father of the harbinger, I mean the grandfather of the harbinger, and the father of uh, the father of the grandfather of the harbinger, and the father of the harbinger, which the father of the harbinger is the embodiment of the 1987 harmonic convergence. Because all of this is connected. Everything is related, right? The just like the prophets were all related. All these celestial events are related as a family, as all these events are related to, mashallah, my family, right? As with Michael Jackson, because now the harbinger, and as I said, even with my listening to Michael Jackson, as I call him, my mommy, my daddy mommy, right, because it was his heartbeat I heard, meaning the music, and his heart was in the music, right, so it was his heartbeat I heard, right, in the womb, in the celestial womb, right, okay, so anyway, he's plays a part in that in 2011, because in Ramadan, I mean 2011, uh, um, August 29th was Ramadan 29th. That was the last day of Ramadan, right? Was Michael Jackson's birthday. So, see how it all plays in together? Even with Michael Jackson is up in there, right? MashaAllah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And even Michael Jackson is connected to Elvis Presley through his uh, union with Lisa Marie Presley, the beautiful Lisa Marie Presley. Okay, daughter of the iconic, legendary Elvis Presley, right? And she was an Aquarius too, right? And she transcended, I believe it was January 12th, with when the seal was set, right? The great comet of that hadn't been seen for what 50,000 years, right? So you see the 50,000 years again come up. Okay, to put the seal on it, right? And that was 2023, I believe. Yeah. Okay, now, so um, I think it was 23. I gotta do calculate it. Yeah, I think it was 23. I'm not certain. I don't remember. Maybe 22. No, I think it was 2023. Oh, I could check, but I don't feel like looking on my phone. Okay, so anyway, so now, so that comet is to conjunct over Cairo, Egypt, little Cairo, little wait, Egypt, little wait, Cairo, Little Egypt, Illinois, and that is where the father of the harmonic convergence is from. Egypt, Cairo to be exact. And he is the father of the harbinger, right? And he is the sword, right? The sword comes from Cairo, Egypt, right? Okay. Now, if I'm gonna tell you this, I'm gonna go to video 11.